Hey, Kelly, good morning. Welcome to the Mentors podcast. How are you?
I'm very well. And yourself?
Really well. We're really well. We just had a caller. Can you believe this? I'll just share this really quick story. A guy from Fort Worth, Texas, reached out to us a couple of weeks ago via our Instagram page, and he wanted to be on the show, ask questions. And so we've gone from Fort Worth, Texas now to, where are you? Central Coast somewhere. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, Kelly.
I am from Newcastle. I'm located in Belmore, which is a southern suburb of the city of Newcastle.
Yep.
Just situated on Lake Macquarie on the eastern side. A beautiful little spot down here. So Macquarie, yeah, you've gone from international to downtown Belmore.
My hometown. I was born in Newcastle.
Clinton was born in Newcastle. There you go.
There you go.
A Novocastrian.
I don't
know what that means, but go the Knights.
Go the Knights.
I'll go the Knights. Yes. When the Knights have a win, the town is happy, and so are all of the butchers in town apparently.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Kelly, tell us a little bit about how long you've been in real estate for yourself?
13 months.
13 months? Wow.
Yes.
So you're a newbie. Okay. So
I'm a newbie, so
okay.
not long. Long.
Well, here you go. Hit us with a question. We're here to answer it for you. So off you go, Kelly. Give it to us.
Alrighty. So today's question is in relation to options. And
straight down Matt Lahood's territory.
Yeah. I got very good. So I'll direct this one straight to Matt then. So how do I transition into the option space? From where we're at now. So we are primarily an agency that deals in private treaty. Yep. We're a smaller boutique agency. There's 5 of us here. So a selling principal is the lead agent, and I'm a sales associate here. So we've identified that there's a need here to go into that space, and I'm just looking for some advice on that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, the first thing, let's go high level for the first bit of this conversation. First thing is you've got to be comfortable that you know how to run the process, because if you are comfortable and you know how to run the process, then you're comfortable to talk through the process. So that's the first thing. So confident and comfortable. And the second thing is always, if it's in the best interest of the vendor, only recommend it. So not every property is an auction property. Yeah. I've done over 2,500 sales in my career and didn't always recommend auction as the only method. But if the property you feel, if the vendor is comfortable with it, and if you think it'll attract attention and possibly competition, then you'd recommend it. So if you're going in with the right intention, first of all, and it's the best thing for the vendor, and you're comfortable with the process, and you're expert at managing it, so you might need to do that. Might be some upskilling from your end, Kelly. They're the 3 things first. Then once you believe in it, it's funny, the owners will just believe in it.
So true. So true. Yeah.
So you don't need to so if it's not like Claudio and myself and Clinton are going to give you a wand and say, walk into the next listing presentation, wave a wand, and the owner's going to say, right, go to auction. So what the way to do it would be is you believe in it, you feel you've got the skill to do it, you're confident and comfortable, and it's best thing for the vendor, then have a guess what? Your beliefs will just automatically transfer to the vendor.
Okay. Well, last year, so I've been with this particular agency where I'm at now for 2 months, and last year I was working with a lead agent, and I would say almost 90% of that business was auction based.
Yep.
So I've had some exposure to it. The thing, and it was very successful through the process. But I 100%, 200% believe in the process, and I like the structure of it, and we've identified, a couple of potential vendors just very recently that are interested in that. And, I've got that mindset and I've got that belief, and I'm just looking at what's the next step there?
So it's pretty simple. First of all, the belief and the vendor, the intention is the first bit. So once you go in there, because if you're trying to sell something to someone you don't believe in it or you're not confident in the process, they'll pick up your energy. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So all you'd need to do at the next presentation is sit down and explain there's two methods. There's for sale with the price and there's auction. And you go through those two methods with the owner, the features and benefits of holding an auction, the features and benefits of holding for sale, and you basically let them make the decision.
And I think the other thing that brings to create that belief as well is bringing a case study with you, right, Maddie? So
yeah, definitely social proof,
right? So I think So I think Kelly. And sometimes, it might be your property or it could be another property that sold really well in that same suburb close by that sold by our auction, where you can say, because you may get some, some sellers say to you, well, look, we're not really sure if we should go to auction. And again, it's if you believe in it and you think that home really deserves auction, then go sit down with them and discuss an auction strategy. The good thing is, you mentioned the office that you were before. They were 90% auction orientated. So you've had a taste of auction. You know how to run an auction, right? So you know what to do through an auction campaign, correct?
Almost.
Yeah,
I've
almost.
been there.
Yeah, almost. Right. And there's enough tools and resources on the internet that if you just went to YouTube and said, how to run an auction, what to do at an auction on the floor, you'll find a lot of great tips, right?
Okay.
But what I would actually say to you too, Kelly, is when you go out there and you speak to the vendor, one of the biggest things that I've always found is, the more you can bring a case study to the table, the more people are saying, well, okay, we're not the only ones who are going to go through this. Someone else has done it and it's actually been successful. And the next thing you want to do is you do the case study. And by the way, here's their testimonial as well. Okay.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
Okay.
The other thing there, Kelly, so when you said just then, I'm sure the comment you made was you think so. I think it was. Was that what you said? I'll tell you what I'd be doing. You need to just by quickly diagnosing over the phone how you're saying and what your thoughts are. I'd be meeting the top sort of two auction agents that you feel you could go and approach.
Yeah.
And I'd be Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So Claudio will have some great ideas because he coaches most of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
does Maddie.
But and I doubt it's probably going to be one of your direct competitors. But the reality is, it could be someone in another suburb who you're friends with that it's not competing. There's some superstar agents up your way there. I've got a couple of people I could immediately put you in touch with who'll help you.
That'd be great.
But that would be the first thing I would do. So get confident around going in. But the best way to do it, I feel, is Claudio is nailed it in terms of social proof. So, but the biggest thing is explaining the features and benefits to the owner of both methods.
Yeah, the advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
So, you'd go in your auction, you'd say, all right, so Mr. and Mrs. Jones, here's what I would do. I would say, look, days on market in Newcastle are 73 days or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Auction days on market are 45.
Yep.
How long do you want to be in the house for?
Correct.
When we're selling it, right?
Yeah.
So that's automatically they're going to say we want to be out in 45. So it's an auction, right?
Yeah.
So they're steered themselves there. The next thing I'd be doing, and you've got to get the stats right, so those numbers are exactly right. Next thing is you've got to then be very transparent that 60% is a clearance rate in New South Wales at the moment. So you've got a 6 in 10 chance this is going to sell. The other thing is we don't have the pressure of putting the price on it, which with a for sale, and I always used to explain this to my owners, if there was two owners, husband and wife, or a family in the room, and I said to them, if I gave everyone a blank piece of paper and told them, including me, and we all write down what price we think we should put this on the market at, everyone's going to have a different asking price, right? Yeah. So I'd say auction takes the problem away. We don't have to worry about pressure of putting an asking price on.
That's right.
So these are the type of things you need to walk through with the owner. Then they'll just make their own decision up whether they go auction or for sale. So I've never sold anything in 30 years of real estate. I don't sell anything. What I do is I get the owner to sell it to themselves.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like all you're doing, right?
Asking the right sort of questions, right?
I'm giving the owner so what I'm doing is I don't bake the cake. I'm just giving him the ingredients.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
And even if you just sort of said like Maddie said, like days on market, private treaty versus auction, even if you actually went and said the average sale price was this, on average sale price selling with auction, you get an extra 2 or 3% more on average. Like if you get some certain stats that you can, to create the facts and evidence around,
exactly.
your
with private treaty, it's us and the vendor fighting against the market. With auction, it's the buyers fighting against each other.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Really
so where do you want to be? Where do you want to be, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor? You want the buyers fighting against each other, or you and me fighting against the market?
You know what? I know where I want to be. But
exactly. Once you do that, once you say that, then you say private treaty days on market are 75 and auctions 41. How long do you want to see me for in the next month? Most of my vendors.
Can we just break down what you just did there? That's really smart. Right?
Most of my vendors would say, "I want you out of here in a week." Can you do a week auction?
Yeah, exactly.
And cool.
And the other thing too, Kelly, if you are going to go down this path of like transitioning from private treaty to auction, especially as we're sort of heading towards the spring campaign happening. Just to also think, I don't know about you, Maddie, but a few of my clients are now doing 5-week auction campaigns rather than 4 weeks. Just extending them just to give an extra week to find an extra buyer.
It's a good idea.
To perhaps, make sure if the vendor needs to align themselves and educate themselves with the market, gives them an extra week to consider that as well.
Right.
All you do, Kelly, is you do what is best for the vendor every single time. I've actually gone in, I've had owners say to me, want to auction it, and I'd say, look, Mr. Jones, I wouldn't actually auction this property. And they look at me like I've got two heads, but you're better off telling them why, because not every property is suited for auction.
Correct.
Yeah.
How do you pick that? How do you know?
Well, you've got an idea. Okay, the two things for you got to ask a lot. You've got to diagnose before you prescribe, right? So the diagnosis would be, what time frame are you wanting to be out of here? Because, Clinton, I guess, good question you've asked. If I came to your house and you said, look, Matt, we're in no rush. If we want a certain price, if we can't get that price, we're not going to sell it.
So you go private treaty.
So you go private treaty, right? Unless the price is in line with what you feel. The sweet spot, Claudio mentioned.
Yeah.
Second thing is it could be a property that's got a difficult title. Like sometimes you see a property it's got like a right of way on it where in 4 weeks, if a purchaser sees it, Clinton, halfway through the campaign, they're not going to have enough time to go to the council, check it all out, etc. Or it could be a heritage listed home. It could be something like that. Not every property is suited to auction. So
some things just need a bit more time.
You just know, it could be either the person's not suited to auction, could be the property's not suited to auction, or it could be the terms and conditions of the marketplace is not suited to auction.
There you go.
Yeah. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's some gold nuggets there, eh, Kelly?
There's a whole lot of information.
You were going to say something before, Clinton, about what we did around the timing and stuff?
No, just in the way that you approached a vendor, right? So the way you put it to them, would you rather this or would you rather that? I'm just trying to break down the psychology of what you just did. Because it's like, I get it.
Thank you, Clinton.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Matt has that sort of effect on people.
Exactly the question I had.
Wasn't it like, would you like fries with that?
I mean, the reason I asked the question is the why is generally more important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Understanding the end game and knowing where you want to take it, and then having the confidence to deliver is all important.
Yeah.
So, I can see obviously for yourself, you've got experience in it, and it comes easy with that experience.
Yeah, it's just having, first of all, backing yourself, knowing that I'm going in there with the one intention. It's all about the vendor. If they say to me, no auction, I'm saying, they'll never say to me, Matt, we don't want to do an auction, because I don't give them, I don't pushing anything. Yeah. But often they'll make it themselves once you give them the ingredients.
Yeah. This comes back to the people business thing of what you were talking about way before. Like, if you want to grow a successful business, you got to make it about the people. That's what you're in. You're in a service business. So knowing exactly what somebody wants and being able to diagnose it, like you were saying, like a doctor would, asking the right questions, prescribing it is the way to essentially get the result and build a good relationship, right?
We all know when you go to a doctor, you walk in, right, And we've all been to doctors, you've got a sore arm, they don't say, all right, you got a sore arm, take these tablets, right? What they do is they go, okay, so how you been feeling the last week? Did you lift anything? Did you bump your arm?
Yeah.
Have you had this before?
Yeah.
They diagnose the hell out of before they prescribe.
Does it hurt here? Right? Does it hurt there?
Yeah.
Does it hurt there?
Have you got a family history of sore arms? You have
I think I need a new doctor.
What's that? They're not internet doctors, you know. But
I had a guy do that once. I literally had a guy look up Wikipedia.
Everyone does it. It's the worst thing I reckon you can do is Google your symptoms.
Straight out of that surgery.
If I Google my symptoms, I was dead 10 years ago on something.
Oh my goodness!
So I think we're all the same.
You're all the same.
Exactly. So, Kelly, hey, look, great question, because you know what? There are a lot of agents out there who are in this marketplace today who've been so used to for the last 3, 4, 5 months going private treaty, and now thinking, well, maybe we're going into spring. Maybe we should be looking at going into auction. And they have that fear of going, transitioning back into that auction space. And like Matt said, it's all about the vendor. It's all about the seller. What do they want? But also, if you want to do auction, learn it, believe in it, right? Yeah. So then you know exactly why it will be to their advantage, not yours, to their advantage, being the owner, as to why they should go down the auction track.
Yeah. And Kelly, can I just say, congratulations on you wanting to better yourself and change, because you're probably in the top 1 or 2% of agents in Australia at the moment that are wanting to that are happy to look at a change. Wow. A lot of people get stuck in the mindset of, like, so you're wanting to better yourself, you're wanting to change your way of doing business, you see there's a benefit for the customer. Because, if we don't keep changing, there's only 2 states in real estate, we call it, you're either growing or you're dying.
Yeah.
You could have just sat there and not even connected with Claudio or whatever and said, you know what, I'm just going to do private treaty for the next 2, 3, 4 years and be an average agent in your area or whatever it may be. And then you're not going to really add any value to anyone.
Well, I keep going out of my comfort zone, and I think I'm addicted to it now. Okay, what's next?
Well, you're probably top 1 or 2%, which will show eventually that you'll be very successful, because if you keep innovating and you keep changing,
I hope so. Thank you.
And you keep moving with the marketplace, you'll only finish up in front.
There you go, Kelly. There's a wrap. 1 or 2% straight from the mouth of Matt Lahood. And that's a very big plug to give you that.
Thanks,
Thank you, Matt. I'll 50 bucks is in the mail. Yeah.
Keep us in touch. I want to hear 80% clearance rate on every auction too.
Hey, you know what, Kelly? We might check towards the end of the year and see how you're going, and see if you've been putting a few properties to auction. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay. Hey, listen. Thanks so much for joining us here on The Mentors on episode number 22. Thank you.
22. I'll know which one not to listen to. I listen to all the rest. I actually made notes, so I do not have to be subjected to my own voice.
And you know what, Kelly? The funny thing is, I'm like you. I don't even listen to my episodes. I hate the sound of my own voice.
Me too.
There you go.
We all do, I think.
And you know what? Before we sign off, a huge congratulations, because I'm not joking. I truly await every single episode dropping. I love it. It's fantastic. And for somebody, relatively new to the industry, I get a whole lot out of it, listening to real life scenarios. So it's really good. I'll skip 22, but I'll be all over 21.
That's very kind of you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you.
One last question for you before you go. How did you find out about the show? Was it social media? Did somebody refer you to it? Do you know Claudio?
I saw it on Facebook when it was
social media.
when you guys,
we push it out all the time through Facebook. When
you guys were first launching, and I thought, wow. So I went in, podcast, subscribe,
download on iTunes. Beautiful.
Yep, all of that. Yeah, love it.
You know what? It means the world to us that you listen to it and give us that feedback. So, Kelly, from our bottom of our heart to yours, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on the show.
You.
And best of luck with your auctions, okay?
Yeah, totally.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Okay.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
Got something great from this episode? It would mean the world to us if you passed it on. Tune in each week as we mentor a new agent. Have a question? Want to be on the show? Get in touch with Claudio Encina, Matt Lahood, or visit our Facebook page. The Mentors is brought to you by Sprinkler.media.